Oh, hey there. Didn't see ya. Hi, we're Gabe and Cristina. We are Bellwether Fields, and we would like to remind you that there is a limited time that the like button will be positioned at the screen. I'd like you to click it while you still can and subscribe to our channel before that disappears as well. Today we're going to be talking about the 5 things that we hate about living tiny. Actually, I don't think we really hate living tiny, but there are some challenges that come with living in a space such as ours, which is 186 square feet. And we just wanted to talk about maybe some of the downsides or some of the challenges that you may need to overcome from tiny living, because it's not all peaches and puffy clouds.
For those of you who watched our last video with our tour of 186 square feet, this is for you. We've gotten a lot of questions about our tiny living space, and if you want to see that video, it's linked right here. So we wouldn't consider ourselves tiny house experts, but we do have a lot of experience. We've lived in 510 square feet, then we downsized to 260 square feet, and now we live in 186 square feet. So we can give you some perspective when we talk about these 5 things we hate on sizes and how really the difference in size does affect the nature of the environment.
So the first one is, number 1, the husband is always in the way.
This is true. Huge challenge when 2 people are sharing a space, and I think that when you share a space with 2 people, it takes the tiny living dynamic and challenges up a notch. So I really think that one person, especially one person that's really motivated, can live in a very, very small space, probably even smaller than this, comfortably by yourself. But when you have 2 people living in a space, especially one as small as this one, someone is always in the way, and typically that is my husband.
It could be a strategy on purpose, or it could just be a happenstance of good fortune.
Okay, so number 2 thing we hate about living tiny is having to sync our schedules. So again, this is a huge challenge because not everybody has the same schedule, including what time they want to get up in the morning or what time they want to go to bed at night. If we had more room, then we would be able to have different schedules, but in 186 square feet, there is absolutely no way that one person can be going to bed and having like a restful night's sleep while the other person is like up watching, movies or YouTube videos. That's just not going to happen. We're basically in the same room, almost on top of each other. So synchronizing bedtimes, synchronizing getting up, that has really helped us in the 186 square feet. And it's something that I really don't like about it.
Now, there's some things that you can do to sort of soften this a little bit. Like, for example, when I wake up at 5 o'clock, first thing I do is get hot water ready for coffee. I get in the shower, and then by the time I get out, I've got a nice cup of hot coffee ready to set on the bedside for Christina, so that it just softens the blow a little bit of having to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Because you have to. It's like a peace offering. So finding those where you can is a good idea.
So this could be a pro of living really tiny if you're someone that likes coffee delivered to you every morning. I'll live in a tiny space if coffee comes to wake me up.
I don't know what that's like.
No, that's true.
Another thing is she's a heavy sleeper. I'm a light sleeper. And sometimes I want to go to bed earlier than her. And so that's a problem for me because the light's on, it's not dark, there's noises, there's all sorts of stuff. So like getting earplugs and I got this cool little thing. It's like a bamboo fabric like hood that I can put over that's really comfortable to wear and blocks all the light. So that when we really want to, I can just go to sleep. So it's just finding little things that you can do to kind of make it easier for your other person to be with you in a small space. Number 3, having your kitchen in your bedroom is a little bit of a pain in the butt. So imagine for a second that you're going to drag your mattress into your kitchen and make that your living space and the place where you sleep. It's not very great. You have to stay on top of it. So there are things that you don't necessarily feel like doing. Like you have, at said arise time, gotten up at 5 o'clock, you've worked all day, you come home, you cook dinner at 7 o'clock, and then you have to do the dishes. I mean, you kind of should anyway, but sometimes you just don't feel like it, but you really can't leave it because then you wake up to a messy kitchen. It's literally the first thing you see when you get out of bed, and that is no fun at all.
Nobody lives in their kitchen. We do, but usually people don't. So that is a drag about living in 186 square feet in a studio-style apartment, is that you're living in a kitchen. I mean, it smells like oil or the thing you cooked tonight. Or there are cabinets in there. You don't want cabinets in your bedroom. we have cabinets in our bedroom. So it's not great. It's not ideal. You know, sometimes you want to wake up and like look out your window to a beautiful view, or maybe a piece of art hung on the wall. We look out to our refrigerator.
And any mess that may be there.
Yep. Number 4, hard to control smells and the temperature in here. So the smells from the kitchen are going to be in your bedroom, but really it's only one room. So it's going to be the entire place in which you live. Your entire apartment is going to smell like whatever you cooked. So some people might like that, and some people are amazing cooks and everything they make smells amazing. But most people don't want to smell the things that they made for dinner in their house everywhere. And that's kind of how it is. We have a full-size kitchen that we showed you on the other video, and it's just great because we're able to cook most of our food, which we do, but it's also, the downside is that like if you cut onions, like you're gonna smell onions in your entire house. The next is that we can't really control temperature very well. So for the same reason, if you have a massive oven in 186 square feet, it's going to warm up the space incredibly. So it's very challenging to use the oven in the summer because it's just way too hot. We have like a window AC unit and it won't keep it cool in here. But also in the wintertime, we have radiator heat, which is wonderful, but you can't run the radiator heat when you're running the oven. So really the oven controls our life.
Also, not to be gross, but our bathroom is literally 3 feet from our bed, the bathroom door. So it's just, again, you don't want to sleep in your bathroom either.
And there is a separate door for that, but it's very close.
It's very close. Too close. Okay, number 5, stuff accumulates very, very quickly in a space this size. We have to be very organized about how we accumulate things and how we distribute things. And like you saw in another one of our videos when we were packing up to go for a 10-day trip to our cabin to work on it this summer, we had to order a bunch of stuff like bedding, and it literally blocked our front door, and then it blocked the entrance into our place for several days until we could get it into the truck and get it down there. So you have to be aware of that. Like things like mail, you can't let mail pile up. Like you basically have to keep everything organized, in progress. You have to have your systems in so that things just don't start piling up, because then it just will drive you crazy.
Everything is immediate, and I think you can see that. Like, if it gets too hot, you immediately have to cool it. If it starts to smell, you immediately have to open a window. If you want to have a clean kitchen and not wake up to dirty dishes, you immediately have to clean things. There is no downtime. You know, you have to immediately sort the mail. You have to immediately open packages and kind of stuff them in different places. You can't let boxes pile up in here because it's just really too small. Now, I will say that we have noticed this the most with 186 square feet. So when we had 260 square feet, we noticed this a lot less. And when we had 510 square feet, this was really not that much of an issue. I think everybody knows as soon as you walk in the door, that usually becomes like your area, your landing strip, and sometimes becomes a dumping ground for stuff. We cannot have a dumping ground in here because like we won't be able to get the door open. And that's probably a fire hazard.
In summary, you really gotta like the person that you're living with in a space like this. And, you know, it kind of on the plus side, it does make you be in sync with your partner and really be okay, like being literally within eyesight and earshot of each other all the time.
Yeah. So if you are super introverted or like a lot of alone time, you really need your own 186 square foot space so you can live by yourself.
Build yourself a shed.
Maybe 2, yeah. 1 for each of you. But yeah, you really have to be in sync with your partner, especially in something as small as this. So just to recap, the top 5 things we hate about living in 186 square feet is 1, people are always in your way. And by people, I mean you.
This guy.
2, that you have to have the same schedule. So you have to sync up routines, and that even means like eating and sleeping. 3, that you might live in your kitchen, and that's not ideal. It's just not great. No one wants to live in a kitchen. 4, smells and temperature control. Gonna be an issue, something to consider. Very hard to control smells of all kinds, kitchen and bathroom, and temperature, hot and cold, both a problem.
And 5, you have to stay organized. You can't keep piling things in places that are convenient. You have to keep totally organized and totally on top of it all of the time.
So if those things don't sound fun, then tiny living might not be for you. We love tiny living, like we said at the beginning of this video. We absolutely think it's the best way to live for us, again, I think it's all about sizing. So, we live in 186 square feet right now. It's a great challenge. We're enjoying it. We are staying on top of things, and, when we do that, it's a fantastic time. But on the whole, is 186 square feet going to be a permanent solution, a permanent place where we live and stay? Like, it just can't be. No. There's just no way. That's something that, we've done it now for over 2 years. We'll probably do it for a couple years more, but this is not a long-term life solution for us.
Mm-hmm. And consider that in your house, if you're like most people, you use 20% of your space 90% of the time. So you kind of already do this. It's just you have the option to split and do something else, or to put things places or have storage. So you're kind of already doing it to a certain degree, but here you really have to do it 100% of the time. Mm-hmm. All right, so that's it for the 5 things that we kind of hate about living in tiny spaces, but still really love living in tiny houses together.
Strongly dislike.
Very strong dislike. So please give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and I won't do anything more funny with my hand.
Bye, guys.
Take care.